You want to look like a Greek god. Broad shoulders, chiseled abs, that V-taper that turns heads. But let me guess, you've been lifting for a while and your body still looks mid at best. I've been there before. I used to be the kind of guy who's skinny fat, no definition, avoiding taking my shirt off at the beach at all costs, and then I figured out what actually works. This is what I look like now, and I promise you it's not rocket science. I'll be giving you the exact blueprint to building the physique of a Greek god. Do you ever wonder why some guys in the gym train for years but still don't look impressive? They're lifting, they're eating, but something seems off. That's because looking like a Greek god is not about getting big. It's about proportions, aesthetics, and balance. Let's break this down into 3 areas for you to focus on. Let me ask you a question real quick. Have you ever seen a Greek statue with a bulky, bloated physique? The answer is no, of course, because only building muscle was not the priority. It was being perfectly proportioned. And that's what we're aiming for here. This is not about just packing on random muscle. It's about sculpting a powerful, aesthetic, and balanced body. So what do you actually focus on? Your training needs to prioritize these 3 key areas. The first is broad shoulders and upper chest. This is what gives you that Marvel superhero look. Number 2 is the V-taper back and narrow waist. This is hands down what makes you look aesthetic even with a shirt on. And finally, to get defined forearms and abs, the details that make your physique actually pop. So again, the goal here is not just to be big, but to create that V-taper shape that is the foundational aesthetic of a Greek god physique. So how do you actually build those muscles? Here are the only exercises that you need for each muscle group. Now forget about those random Instagram reel exercises, just stick to these core movements. For your shoulders, you want to keep it simple. Just do overhead presses and lateral raises. You don't really need anything more than that for the front and the side delt. Now for the chest, stick to the incline bench and do some dips. Moving on to the back for that V-taper shape, we want to do some weighted pull-ups and rows. Next, we have the arms and the forearms. For those, we keep it very simple with the barbell curls and the wrist curls. For your abs, the single best exercise for your abs are the hanging leg raises, and then you can throw in some planks or crunches if you really want to. And that's really all that you need to build an aesthetic upper body. Next up, let's talk about something extremely important, which is the secret to building any muscle. Now let's get one thing straight. If you are lifting the same weights that you were 3 months ago, you are wasting your time. Every single workout, aim to add weight, do an extra rep, or improve your form. After that, you absolutely have to start tracking your lifts. Because if you're not writing it down in a journal or something similar, you're just guessing. And finally, always push yourself in each and every single exercise. Because if it doesn't challenge you, then it's not intense enough, and if the intensity is taken out of the picture, your muscles will not grow. Alright, so now that we know how to train smarter, let's go ahead and talk about the one thing that will either make or break your Greek god physique journey. And if you haven't guessed already, it's the nutrition. If you ever wondered why some guys put in just as much effort as others in the gym, but then end up seeing way better results, it's because they've got their diet figured out. The goal here is to gain as much muscle as possible while keeping your body fat low. Yeah, so forget about that bulking phase where you eat everything in sight for the next 4 months. It's not gonna work. Or at least it's not gonna get you an aesthetic physique, which is the whole point. So how do you eat for an aesthetic physique? We're gonna focus on your macros and keep it really simple. For the protein, we're gonna aim for 1 gram per pound of body weight. So if you weigh 150 pounds, shoot for 150 grams of protein a day. So in this case, make sure to eat around 25 to 30 grams of protein per meal, and you spread them across 4 or 5 meals. The protein sources are pretty straightforward. You've got eggs, chicken, beef, fish, Greek yogurt, and if you really want to, you can get a quality protein shake that can help you reach your protein goals every single day. Just don't rely on it for like 3 meals a day. Next up, we've got the healthy fats, and there's a big reason why you need them, as they keep your hormones like testosterone in very good shape, as it is essential for muscle growth, so don't neglect that. You want to go for avocados, maybe 1 avocado a day with your breakfast, some nuts, seeds, and olive oil. You don't have to overthink it, just include a bit of healthy fat at each meal. And finally, your biggest enemy when it comes to achieving an aesthetic physique, the carbs. I get that carbs are fuel, they power your workouts and help with recovery, but you want to avoid all of the cartoon labeled sugary stuff. Cereals, milk chocolate, anything really that spikes your blood sugar and leads to crashes and cravings. If you are feeling too tired, you want to add a little bit more carbs, but if you're not leaning out enough, then reduce them. So for example, a simple meal plan that actually works could be something like this. For breakfast, you go with eggs, oats, and black coffee. For lunch, you can be a little bit flexible here, so you can go with something like chicken, rice, and veggies. And then for dinner, if you can't afford it, you can go with steak and sweet potatoes plus a salad. If you can, then make sure you're getting some protein out of protein shakes or something that you can actually actually afford. And then if you're getting some cravings as you're losing weight and leaning out, then go for something like a Greek yogurt or almonds. By nailing your macros with clean protein, fats that boost hormones, and carbs that actually help you train, you give your body what it needs to build muscle while keeping the fats low. That means you will end up looking more lean and powerful, not bulky and puffy. And now we move on to the final piece. This is why a lot of guys fail even though they do get their training and decent nutrition. It's because they don't have the discipline to stick with it. And that's where the final piece, recovery and consistency, comes in. If you're the type of guy to train hard for a few weeks and then suddenly fall off, then don't expect to wake up one day with an aesthetic Greek god physique. You need to recover and be consistent every single day. Now, if you're serious about building muscle, sleep is non-negotiable. You need to be getting 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep, otherwise all of your efforts in the gym are wasted. Your muscles grow and repair while you sleep, so keep a consistent sleep schedule and cut out screens before bed. This blue light that comes out of your phone and other screens messes with your melatonin and directly impacts your sleep quality. And then on the other hand, we have the daily discipline. The real difference between a guy who succeeds and one who stays average is sticking to your routine and keeping your promises. Track your workouts, prep your meals ahead of time, and keep pushing yourself no matter how tough it gets. Every single small win adds up, and over time, all of these habits become the backbone of your success. Once again, the truth is, most guys fail not because they don't have the right plan, but because they quit before they see the results. If you stick to this blueprint, your body will transform. Everything we covered today, the smart training, strategic eating, and relentless consistency, is what separates the average Joe from the guy who actually looks like a Greek god. But I did promise you a final secret. There is one thing that will skyrocket your results, and it's something 90% of guys completely overlook, and that's optimizing your testosterone levels naturally. Testosterone is the driving force behind muscle growth, strength, energy, and even fat loss. So if your levels are low, you will struggle to build muscle, recover slowly, and stay more fat, especially around your belly. So here is how to boost your testosterone naturally. First of all, we've got key supplements that will work. We have creatine. This is one of the most researched supplements in the world. It improves strength, endurance, and recovery, which directly supports testosterone production by allowing you to lift heavier and train even harder. Second, we have the Tonkat Ali. This is a powerful herbal supplement shown to increase free testosterone levels and improve your mood, strength, and libido. Next, we have ashwagandha. This helps reduce cortisol, your stress hormone levels, which is crucial since high stress absolutely destroys testosterone. And finally, for the supplements, we have vitamin D, as vitamin D deficiency is directly linked to low testosterone. So if you don't get your daily sunlight, supplement with 4,000 to 5,000 IU per day. Number 2, we have the lifestyle hacks for higher test. The first one is, of course, to get your 7 to 9 hours of sleep. This is a point that we mentioned earlier for recovery, but it's also extremely important for your test levels. Your test levels rise while you sleep. So if you're sleeping less than 6 to 7 hours a night, your test takes a massive hit. After that, you gotta lift heavy. Compound movements like squats, deadlifts, and presses naturally stimulate your testosterone production. And finally, we have the hidden testosterone killer, body fat. What most guys don't realize is that excess body fat completely wrecks your test levels. If you are serious about getting your test levels up and unlocking your aesthetic physique, then the next step is losing the stubborn belly fat. Go ahead and watch the video that's popping on the screen right now, because no matter how hard you train and eat, if your test level is tanked, you will never reach your full potential. Thanks so much for watching this video. Let us know if you found it to be helpful and informative by giving it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos just like this one.